Hello and welcome back to my historical playthrough series, playing through as modern-day nation of Turkey. We're in the second segment of this series, the Europa Universalis series, and this is video number 2. I'm Admiral Jedi. We're going to pick up right where we left off. The year is 1454, and Constantinople, now named Constantiniye, has fallen in the conquest by the Ottomans. We are playing as the Ottoman Empire, of course. And we are now an empire because we took the decision to become one. So, yay, Ottoman Empire. And Constantinople, Constantiniye, Istanbul is now our capital. And so let's lay out what we're going to do for this video. We're going to do 3 things. We're going to conquer, conquer, and conquer. So we're playing still as Mehmed the Conqueror. There we are. And the Conqueror. And so we're probably going to play the remainder of this video as him until his death, which I believe was in 1481. Let's look that up. Yep, 1481. So we might not play until, we might play before or after or whatever, that year specifically, but what we are going to do, at least in this video, is do all of the remainder of the conquerings that he did, which is going to include, he focused a lot in the Balkans, okay? So we're going to clean up the Peloponnese. We're going to take Serbia, Bosnia-Herzegovina. We're going to remind Wallachia that they were a vassal and should be, so we're going to vassalize them. And then we're going to look to the east and possibly have this war with Akkoyunlu. Karaman should be not vassalized, but completely annexed. And then we're going to also lead into the first Ottoman-Venetian War. So that's a lot to do. Like I said, there's a lot of conquering. Now, I'm not going to have you just sitting here watching me, move armies around and everything like that. There's going to be a lot of fast-forwarding, like, oh, we conquered them, oh, we conquered them. So, could get a little short on this side. We're not going to do a whole lot of cultural explanations because we did a lot of that in the video 1. So, I'll have mercy on you for that one. But, of course, if something happens, events or just random stuff that I think is sort of culturally and historically relevant, we're going to bring that in. So sort of a second sub-goal is we're really going to try and amp up trade. And the Black Sea, at a certain point here, right, almost became to be known as an Ottoman Ocean because they started capturing critical ports on it in the Crimea, Trebizond, and also some in Moldavia. To the point where the Black Sea became very significant for trade, and with Constantiniye sitting literally on the merge of 2 continents, Europe on this side and Asia on this side, it was one of, if not the most important trade center in the world, or in the known world at that point. And so we're going to focus also quite a bit on beefing up our trade. So that's our goals for this episode. Let's get started. So we're going to begin this whole escapade in the Peloponnese and declare war on Arta. So this should be fairly easy. They have a decently sized navy that we can go, or that we're going to be going up against. I think. Oh, okay, yeah. But we should do okay against that. So let's get to battle. Ooh, 2 captured ships even. A bit of a painful but historical option here to convert the Hagia Sophia into a mosque. which was indeed done. And this is something that Muslim conquerors would usually do, changing churches into mosques. You know, in their minds, it was symbolizing that the superiority of Islam over Christianity. And so we're going to do that, even though it's going to cost us a bunch of money, and we're going to have to take another loan. How many loans do we have? I'm hemorrhaging cash. Okay, let's just take a pause here for a minute. 3 loans so far, although I think we're going to take a 4th one. Yep, there we go. Okay, so we have a positive balance, so yay. But still, it's getting kind of rough, so we're going to need to make some money back here pretty quick. While I just sit here and wait for Arta to capitulate, because I basically want to full annex them, and they're like, yeah, no, bro, that's not going to happen. So, you know, it's just going to take time, and I'm doing absolutely nothing in the meantime. So I just justified an invasion for Ottoman casus belli against Serbia. Now, Serbia didn't ultimately fall to Ottoman occupation until 1459, but the times can get a little bit wonky with 5-year truces and all that sort of thing. So I'm going to actually go ahead and declare on them, not ally with them, to declare on them. And I'm not going to declare on them. All right, so we're going to run the timeout for a little bit and let that happen. Now, one of the things that Serbia really did was trade goods wise. Was it Serbia? Oh, no, apparently it wasn't. Moorish, sure, we can use Moors. It was not copper. Where is it? Not iron. I thought it was gold or silver. Yeah. No, there it is, right there at Kosovo. Okay, so getting this gold from Kosovo is going to be crucial. We need that money. And I think we can declare on them now, right? So let's go ahead and do that. Now, the object of this goal is to take the capital, Braničevo. But I would be absolutely happy with just taking Kosovo. So anyway, let's go to war and see how that works out. Okay, with the battles in Serbia beginning, Epirus on the Peloponnese has offered unconditional surrender. So that's good. And next we're going to go after Athens. However, we're still in truce with them because of their connection to Byzantium, and we'll need to go after Byzantium as well. But so let's just go ahead and run this war in Serbia down for a little bit first. So Serbia is on the edge of capitulation, which we're going to go ahead and do. Now, what I've done is say, want you to become an Eyalet. I barely know what that is. I think it's a vassal. And then also give us Kosovo for the gold. Now, part of my studies in this, in the research, and I shared some of my research materials, it's difficult because you're like, it was like, this city fell, this terrain, they lost it, they got it, they lost it, back and forth. And then you'll see, they finally conquered Serbia in 1459. And then you'll see they finally conquered Serbia again in 1463 or whatever. And it's like, well, maybe final means something different to you than it does to me. So I think that Serbia was completely annexed in 1459, completely, not even vassalized, but completely. So to do this is to do it kind of wrong. But I'm desperate for that gold. So that's now part of me, and Serbia theoretically is a vassal. I don't think that was super accurate, but also it's not 1459 easy either, so I'll kind of let myself off the hook there. So I always welcome correction on this, and thank you for all of you who have submitted corrections and comments. So, you know, let me know. But we're going to just keep going because I'm probably not going to go through the diplomatic route of annexing them. We might conquer them, but just a little bit later. So, who is next in the war here? So, Peloponnese by 1460, Serbia by 1459. And the next one that we're going to start doing will be Trebizond. Although I really would like to take Kandar back and bring them back into the fold. So let's see what that looks like right now. So they're allied with Crimea, which I'm not that scared about, except in one of my trial playthroughs, they have kind of a baller navy, and so they'll sit on me and blockade me forever, which sucks. But tell you what, let's just do one of my little cheats, and we'll do pre-Trebizond. And I'm not even sure. Well, no, I've got a straight claim on them already. So let's go ahead and just, well, you know what? We might as well get into place here. Okay, let's get our navy ready. Where is theirs? We'll send here. Okay. So let's get this moved into place here a little bit. Let me fast forward that. Okay, fast forwarded, and we're in place. Let's go ahead and declare the war. So we're gonna take, well, probably the castle, right? Okay. No diplomats, so I can change that. So we're gonna stop building in Serbia and Karaman. Let's wait our 5 days out here and go to war. Okay. In the meantime, I'm also going to get ready with diplomacy, or excuse me, espionage, to do a justification on Trebizond. So, in we go. So I'll move you over here. And I gotta keep an eye on these navies, like I said, because they're pretty butch. Not this guy, but let's go get him. Yep, easy. Oh look, I'm losing money again. Oh, really? Okay. Alright, I guess we're gonna wander around for a little while. So in the midst of battle, we finally can open our first idea group, which I'm going to do. And I'm going to open it on the military side, because we can get ideas right away. So some ideas that are immediately appealing are offensive ideas, quality ideas, quantity ideas, maybe naval, probably not right away. But what I think I'm going to do is go for quality. Let's see, it's going to be either offensive or quality. I'm going to go for quality because the Ottoman military, at least at this time, was one of the most feared on the planet. And with the Janissaries as elite units, they were it. So certainly we're doing a lot of offensive, but they did defensive as well. And so I'm going to go for the first three ideas to open up our first Ottoman idea here. Okay, and we don't even have enough to get number 2. But anyway, so as each idea and idea group comes up, we'll talk about that contextually. And so this was the first time. So Kandar finally capitulated. Sometimes these tiny little provinces, it's like, I think like 3 years later, they're just like, nah, look, I own literally everything you have, and it still takes them 3 years. Because their allies will sit up here and be like, yeah, you haven't taken us yet. Yeah, well, I guess that's true. While I fully blockade your ports and you just sit there doing nothing. Anyway, already justified on Trebizond. So we're going to hit them next, which is historically true. Might as well call Serbia in, who decided to stop being pissy and accept us as an ally. So back to war we go. Now, fortunately, Trebizond called in a bunch of land-based allies, and so I can do quite a bit to these bad boys, and I'm looking forward to it. So, Karaman, which we're going to be doing quite a lot of battle against. Georgia, we're going to ignore for a while in terms of our proactive plans, but, well, I don't know. They're looking pretty mean, but I've got the Janissaries on my side. So we're going to kind of clean up Karaman a little bit and just milk them for money. Alright, so a special event upon us, the fate of the Patriarchate. The year doesn't really matter, although we're in 1464. With Constantinople in our hands, we must decide the fate of the Christian Patriarch, the Church. So I think I've said this before, but it's worth saying again, that the allowed presence of foreign religions like Orthodox Christianity and Judaism was actually part of the economic plan of the Ottomans. You want to keep your own religion, you'll pay an extra tax. And it was a significant source. I've seen some claim the most significant source. I don't know about that. It was a significant source of income for the empire. And also, again, Ottoman sultans, starting with Mehmed the Conqueror and going beyond, began to really see themselves as the inheritors of the Roman Empire, at least on the eastern side. Of course, I don't think they saw it that way. They saw it as the inheritor of the Roman Empire. And there is belief that Mehmed had plans to invade and conquer Rome itself as well, in addition to Constantinople. So this option of close down and confiscate the properties would be wonderful for my starving treasury. However, I don't think that that's really truly historically what happened. So we're going to do this, and apparently there's some sort of mission that changes. Perhaps we just haven't gotten there yet. Yeah. Oh, okay, so we need to grant privileges and do agendas for the Dhimmi. We'll see about that. I don't have any issue doing that as long as it's not like full autonomy. So we'll get back to that when that mission fires. Speaking of Constantinople, I have not made it any secret that I like to play other games, read books, watch TV shows that are related to the game and subject that I'm currently playing. And so one of the games that I've been in love with my whole life is Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed series, specifically the game Assassin's Creed Revelations, which is one of the main Ezio series. You can usually get it on modern consoles if you buy the Ezio edition of it. I'll do a link to that in the end. But Constantinople, right around this time frame, actually immediately following Mehmed's death, which hasn't occurred yet in the game, is the subject matter of that game. So if you want to wander around Constantinople and see what it looks like, have at it. Tell Ezio I said hello and thanks for all the memories. Get it? Memories? Heh. Alright, it's a couple years too late, but in 1463, the Venetian-Ottoman Wars began, a series of on-again, off-again wars. Primarily, or at least at first, where the Ottomans were the defenders, because as the West began to see growing Ottoman expansion, they were like, this is no good. You know, we need to crusade against these Muslims. And so Hungary and Venice joined together and attacked the Ottomans. The Ottomans repelled the attack, and took some territory down here in Morea, which is not really owned by Ottomans at all, but I think also Negroponte, possibly Corfu. So we're going to do that by way of an aggression instead, and I'm going to declare on them. And I could do this reconquest. I'm sitting here going like, wait a minute, I don't have... Serbia, who's apparently... Well, not apparently, who is... My Eyalet has claims on these lands. Because it's like, you have claims on these lands. I'm like, no, I don't. But Serbia does. And so they're my vassal at this point. So we're going to go ahead and do that. I mean, I suppose I could conquest. But that's not as good as reconquest, right? So let's go ahead and... do this take core. Okay, Luca's not going to join. But I am going to call both allies, or both Eyalets, and begin. So, Venice has a brutal navy. I didn't see we could do this. That's kind of cool. Oh, just in time. Although I'm pretty sure that gives me some kind of morale hit. But anyway, Venice has kind of a brutal navy that I probably, to this day, still cannot compete with. So we're going to be keeping an eye on that as much as possible. Oops. Yeah, of course. You know what? Alright, you know what? You didn't see me do this, but we're gonna be a bit more prepared. Oh, we're gonna go way back. Okay, that's cool. Anyway, so we're gonna declare on war. Like the coward that I am, I'm gonna reload because I don't want my ships to get totally wiped because I wasn't paying attention to them. So anyway, we'll bring you back in as the battle's going on, or hopefully when it's done. The first Venetian-Ottoman War is basically at an end. I was right. Their navy is butch. I mean, it is really powerful. I got lucky and was able to win a fight, but then the positioning of the ships kind of worked out, or didn't work out, and I almost got it, where basically if you hang out here, right outside Venice, they basically have to keep a ship there, or, you know, some kind of fleet in the Gulf of Venice to prevent you from advancing on it. And I almost got it because they left, and then my dudes were over here, and I'm like, ooh, 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 and then they came back like, no, 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 you know. So anyway, it was close. But the good news is I was able to push them into a corner, and I've got some concessions from them, so I'm going to go ahead and take these two territories here, including the one that I did the reconquest on, and I don't think I could really push them far enough to give me like a ton of money. Who knows? Maybe I can get a little money out of them. Maybe. I mean, I suppose I could just sit on them for a little longer. Hey, 94 is better than nothing. But I did get war reparations out of them. So, where's my war reparations? Yep, there we go. So they have to give me 10% of their income. All right, let's do it. It's over. Yay, Venetian-Ottoman War. Number 1, there will be more. So we're really, really behind at this point in our conquests, 1467. We should have already had the Peloponnese, so I need to do that next. We have Serbia, that's good. But we also need to work to bring Wallachia back into the fold. But we're going to bring them back in as a vassal, to the best of our ability. Now, this is going to be a little tough because they're allied with Athens, and that means we're going to have to wait another 10 years. So let's see if we can pull off a little trick here. If we can... Okay, if I declare on the... Oh, Hungary. Ugh. Okay, that sucks. Okay, I wonder, because I was gonna say, if I can do a justification on them. Okay, in 13 days. Let's pull it off. I think I'm gonna try it, because what would be... Oh, you're my rival? Okay, cool. Okay, if I justify on them, which I'm going to... Okay, so we'll have Casus Belli for 5 years. And Eyalets can be... Oh. So I wonder if we can do an Eyalet on them if they're not the primary target of the war. Justification in place. And then we're going to declare... I'll need a diplomat. Okay. We're going to declare and see... Oh, no, that's not Wallachia. It's Moldavia. Okay, never mind. This whole thing was bogus. All right, so I'm going to just let that justification go and stop building my... And we're going to go straight for the Peloponnese instead. Let's get going. Alright, with the war ended against Athens, the Peloponnese conquest is complete. So we certainly reign in Greece. We're going to get a permanent claim on all the Balkans regions. Boom. Okay. So that is going to help us push into the north. 20 provinces. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. So, lots more conquests that we need to do. Oh, yeah, look at that. So, we've got this whole area open to us at this point. And so I think we can do all sorts of things. We can go after Albania, which we need to do. Okay, they're allied with Venice. Fine. So we have to sort of take that in stride for a minute. They're not too bad. We could call in... Yeah, okay. Anyway, so... technically, time-wise, we should have gone Serbia, which we did. Okay. And they're vassalized. Peloponnese, done. Trebizond, done. Revassalize Wallachia. That really should be next. We finished the Ottoman Venetian War, at least the first part of it. And by 1468, we should have already had some battles against Karaman here. But the final annexation of Karaman does not occur until 1474. So that's coming. And so really what we have left, Karaman, Wallachia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, and Albania. And then that would be the complete... Well, that's not true. And then the Crimea. That would be the complete set of conquests in Mehmed the Conqueror's reign. So we're getting close. But let's keep pushing. I think we're going to do it. The real question is, who do we do next? I'd have to put something... I'm going to have to do a justification against them. I'm glad to see Hungary this low. I think we're going to justify against Wallachia. So that's going to take us a little bit. What's our spy network at? And it's at nothing. Okay, fine. So maybe what we'll do is try and do a reconquest of Albania in the meantime. Let's do it. In the middle of the war with Albania and Venice, a new government reform. I'm going to choose this provincial government system. Pashas now give you plus 20% local tax modifier. And the provincial government, while, I mean, we did have a... The Ottomans were a very centralized government, for sure. They weren't a monarchy, necessarily. Definitely not decentralized. But this provincial government, the concept of eyalets was them basically, as they would conquer new territories, they would say, okay, we need to have a sort of administrative region for this. And so we're going to do this because I love the money, but also because I think it's probably pretty close to historically what happened. So we're going to continue on with the war, but just that piece came in there. Everybody knows the Ottomans as a sort of warlike conquering, but they were really a hardcore bureaucracy. I mean, it was very, everything had a person who did this, and there were degrees of it, and then, you know, if you got paid 50 akçes, you were in this role, but if you got paid 100 akçes, you were in that role, and, you know, all that sort of thing. So it was pretty hardcore, so we're going to roll with it. I can't help but be mad. Yeah, how to play Venice 101. Just sit on your frickin' island and set your ships out. Do nothing else. Like, they've just sat on this island, like, ever since. Of course, I sit on my land because the moment I stick my head out in the water, they're like, bah, you're dead. But at least I get to wander around and, like, pillage all their land and everything, and they're like, yeah, I'm sitting on my island. I'm not gonna come out. Okay, whatever, wimps. Here, they came off their island, and I had to go down and conquer some other stuff, but here I come back again. Let's see what they're gonna do. I have no idea. Oh, what do you know? Well, I got to clip one of them. I thought he was going to go back to his island. What are you doing? Oh my gosh. All the events. I hear no... Yeah, sure. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, they're going to fight. Amazing. Okay. That was insane. They actually fought. Okay, and lost, of course. Alright, this war is dragging on. And I'm gonna see if I can end it. Venice needs to just step out. Okay, can I get any money from them? I can. Okay, can I get war reparations from them? I can. Can I get a lot of money from them? No. Okay, can we get a little money? No. Alright, 10% of their income versus the solid amount. I'll go ahead and do the 10% and piece them out, because with that, I mean, this should just be done. Like, they're like, no, we still want to feel the pain. Okay, whatever. Okay, what I was going to say is, and now this is much less daring now that Venice has been involved, is I'm going to open... What do I want to do? Oh, I'm stuck? Really? Okay. Okay. I'm stuck. Cool. Alright, I don't think it really matters. Because I'm going to open up a new war on Wallachia. Because they're only allied with Herzegovina. Alright, whatever. Why can I not do this? Is it diplomats? Okay, this dude's just sitting around doing nothing. Okay. So, I could try and call these guys, but I think they're in the middle of my war with me. Anyway, we're gonna declare on Wallachia. And just like I told you, I don't remember if it was in this video or the last video, Rise of Empires, the Ottomans, the second series, is all about this. It's all about Mehmed the Conqueror versus Vlad Dracul of Wallachia, the Impaler, Vlad the Impaler, literally the person from whom the Dracula legend comes from. Again, really has nothing to do with sucking blood and all that sort of thing. But watch that show. It is so amazing. They do a whole season based on Wallachia and Vlad and his brother Radu, and you learn how to pronounce Tergovishta. which I'm going to go invade right now. So anyway, let's make this invasion happen and hope this stupid Albanian war comes to an end while my main force is trapped. That's kind of dumb. On we go. This is pretty fun, actually. So I'm here, like, trying to take their land, and they keep splitting off all these 1K units and everything, which just, you know, die, but whatever. But something that's interesting is that Vlad Dracul, while he was waiting for Hungary to come support him, which never happened, would constantly wage guerrilla warfare against them with all sorts of creepy stuff. You really need to watch the series. It's such a great series. So I think it's funny that basically the AI is doing basically guerrilla warfare against me at the same time. That's pretty cool. Kudos to you, Wallachian AI. I'm still going to replace you with your brother. With the Wallachian War over, and them now a vassal, we've elevated, I think, power-wise, and now we have to choose a new rival. Hungary got dumped off of our list of rivals, and so this Karakyonlu I'm going to choose, even though it's not historically accurate. Instead, there was a lot of battles being done with Okoyunlu. And these were like remnants of Mongol tribes. So this is not going the way that it should have gone history. This guy should have been beating this guy. And then the two of us would fight for Karaman, and naturally, I would win. So I think picking him up as a rival is probably going to be a good thing. And this brings us to the nature of the Ottoman territory. They had massive Muslim, well, rivals to the east and south, and they had massive Christian rivals to the north and west. I mean, they were right in the middle and got pinched all the time, and yet still came out ahead. It's really kind of amazing. We're 7 years away from the historically accurate date of Mehmed the Conqueror's death, and it's worth giving him the credit. I read in Carolyn Finkel's book, I think, where people really say that even though Osman was known as the father of the Ottoman Empire, his territory was like beep, like right there. Doot, doot, doot. And it is Mehmed the Conqueror who really is considered the founder of the Ottoman Empire. And he thought of himself like the greats, Alexander the Great, Julius Caesar. And you know what? I've got to give it to him. I think he was, based on the research that I've done. He was a tactical genius. He was all about encouraging arts and sciences, and he was a devout Muslim, and yet he also encouraged, like I said, he patronized the arts and developed economic systems. I mean, it was a really impressive dude, so gotta give it to him, and I'm proud to play him, even though he's gonna die in 7 years. And in honor of Mehmed the Conqueror, I was able to finish the Fate of the Patriarchate and lead me right into repurpose the Hagia Sophia. Once a great church is now Sunni control its original use. Instead, it shall become a Sunni temple with Padishah. So this did indeed happen. We gained the Great Mosque in Constantinople. And there you go. There's to Mehmed the Conqueror. Alright, so we're going to continue working on pushing into the north, and I think perhaps when that is finished, we're going to call it with the end of the Mehmed the Conqueror era, and it's been 2 solid videos with 1 ruler, and not even really 40 years by the time we're done, so I'm not really planning on making 10 videos to catch up to 400 years. But this was a very significant time in Ottoman Empire history, so I don't mind taking it kind of easy. So there's an interesting event here, safeguarding the line of succession. The choices are kind of interesting. We can either lose 2 stability. Okay. But attempting to eradicate all other potential heirs may result in open rebellion. Okay. Or lose 30 legitimacy. And the other heir members will be left at the custody of the harem and free to sabotage our nation. So something interesting that I read is that, I don't know if it was a law, but Mehmed actually had like an edict or a piece of advice or something like that, basically saying to the heir, you know, that would come after him, kill all your other brothers. I mean, kill them. Because, you know, we don't need the land to, like, fracture into civil war. And these concepts are all over history. England, France, the Ottoman Empire. And I think that they're what form the foundation of the drama that you have to go through in the Crusader Kings 3 succession system. That the moment a king died, all hell broke loose, all the time. And so this concept of go ahead and kill your brothers, again, it wasn't law, but it was like high advice. So we're going to take his advice, lose stability, and attempt to eradicate all of our other brothers. So, there you go. As we near the end of this segment, we reached technology level 7, or whatever it is. Administrative technology 7. So we get a new idea group, which we're going to choose. And I'm going to choose between diplomatic and administrative, and I'm going to go with administrative because, like I said earlier, the Ottoman Empire was an extremely bureaucratic administrative machine. What I'm going to point out right away is that we're not going to do any expansion or colonization at all. They just didn't. And, you know, maybe it was because, like I said, they were smack dab in the middle of kind of everything. They weren't looking to find new routes to the east or anything like that. So, I'm looking between possibly innovative ideas, possibly religious, possibly economic. I like that bureaucracy one. Okay. But I think I'm going to go with administrative, as kind of wonky as that sounds. Where, again, just in the spirit of the historical nature, the Ottoman Empire was a very bureaucratic, administratively oriented empire. So we are going to roll with that one right away. Back to the wars. Having just recently annexed the area, the kingdom of Karaman, and completed the mission Conquer the Beyliks, we now have a permanent claim on the remainder of the Anatolian area. It is 1482 AD and 1 year after Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror passed away, historically speaking. He's still around. We still got him. He's only 50. So he did die young of complications from gout, which kind of sucks. But anyway, we are going to let him rest and let this video end. We have some succession issues to deal with, a whole new phase in our existence. So if we look around a little bit, the empire has grown in size. Hungary is looking pretty close. We're probably going to try to annex Moldavia. What we didn't do this video that we should have done, historically speaking, is make some progress in the Crimea. That hasn't been done yet, so we're going to need to pick that up next time around. We've been duking it out with Venice for a while, another thing that should have happened sooner than later, but didn't. And I can't really now because they're allied to the hilt at this point with Burgundy and everything like that. We should have had Negroponte at this point. So we're a little behind in terms of our land, but other than that, I think we've done okay, and we will turn it over to the heirs of the Ottoman Empire to pick up from this point. And I'd like to thank my one viewer for watching, and this brings an end to video number 2 in Europa Universalis. We'll pick it up with video number 3, and I'll see you next time.